today the topic is digital ownership of more things than just currencies. And we are speaking with Johan Unger, co-founder of Marble.Cards. Johan, are you on the line?
I'm here.
Awesome. So Johan, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
As we are in the blockchain, as we are part of the global blockchain community, I would love to know where you're joining us from.
I'm calling from Malmö in Sweden.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, where is that?
Pretty late. Malmö, it's across the bridge from Copenhagen, which is the capital in Denmark.
Uh-huh.
So we're basically the same city across the sea here. And
what is your story?
Previous to Marble.Cards, I started my first company in basically after high school. And I've always been fascinated with the way information is spread online, basically. And by information, I mean like news and content and videos and stuff. So I started my first company after high school, which was like a news aggregator, like Google News, but a bit more fun in the browser. But that didn't really go anywhere. We had about 10,000 users or something. And so I started college, but I dropped out pretty quickly because I started my second company, which in short is a publisher ad tech company, which recommends content across websites. And that went really well. We grew that team from 3 to 70 people in about 3 years. That was a great journey. But I got really interested in crypto and blockchain in late 2016. And so initially we started a crypto in-house project, but it ended with me and my co-founder buying out that project. And so now we're running what eventually became Marble.Cards.
So can you tell us a little bit more about Marble.Cards?
So it's a collectible card game on Ethereum. And so the premise is you can create, it's the users who create the cards, the collectible cards. And the card is created by pasting an internet URL on the Marble site, which you then create a card from. So any unique internet URL can be quote unquote marbled into a card on Ethereum. And so you can think of it as a mix between, say, Pokemon cards, but digital, combined with, say, Reddit or any other platform where people share content or internet URLs.
Yeah, I've seen them. I love them. They're really pretty.
Thank you.
And when do you come up with the idea? Everyone is doing decentralized finance or some kind of infrastructure, but you and your team chose to work on Marble.Cards.
Yeah. For one, I think it's like if you look at the infrastructure projects, they're super important, but I think it's more fun to work with consumer-facing projects. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the reasons. The in-house project we had at Strossel, which was my previous company, which it was basically something like basic intention token. I don't know if you know about that one, but it's basically you should get paid for viewing ads online. Mm-hmm. And so we started down that path, but quickly realized that when talking to publishers who we wanted to implement this, was that one, they were not ready for crypto at all, and two, we didn't really have anything to come with to them. And so we came to the realization that if we can create something like a platform that aggregates attention mm-hmm. users, and then come to them with a pitch that they should somehow integrate blockchain or crypto, then we would have a much easier pitch. And so also at that time, CryptoKitties launched and sort of the NFT or non-fungible token concept became more clear that it was possible to do. And so I think those two things combined led me to start thinking, what if we could create like a game where URLs are the game like assets or game items, and can we build out from that and create a platform that is fun to engage with? And so it went down that path.
Yeah, I collect baseball cards and football cards when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I have really good memories of putting different cards in a physical folder and protecting them so that they're in mint condition. And when I
Yeah.
see your marble cards, that's what I thought of. How long have you been interested in gaming as a hobby?
Since I was 5 years old or something, I've always been very, very interested in gaming. I think it's awesome. I think it's just a fantastic way to experience. Like I've always been the adventure, like RPG type of player. So I love a good story, and I love like the progression and collecting. Also in games, like you collect the best items and you try to like upgrade your characters to have the best stuff.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I've always been a huge fan of gaming, and seeing it like enter a new phase ish with crypto is super exciting.
What's your aha moment? I ask because many people start company and sometimes they don't follow through with certain companies, right? Because they may not work. So for marble cards, what was that turning point?
For Could you say it again?
Yeah,
Sorry.
so there's a lot of people who start companies, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes you kind of realize that it's not gonna work, so you work on something else, right? For marble cards,
Yeah.
what was your aha moment where you were like, "Oh, this is awesome. I really love this. It's gonna work."
I think so. I want to hedge myself. We have a few hundred users. So I would say that we're far from it working still, but I think as a proof of concept, we still have some kind of proof that what we're doing is interesting. I think like the aha moment I would guess was somewhere in the beta stage where people were like, "Oh, I've been marbling for 12 hours straight now. I can't stop." I think that was like that's awesome to hear as someone who's about to launch a platform. So yeah, I guess that, and we use everyone is in Discord, so it's a great connection that we have to the entire community, and so we're very close to feedback and very close to like any concern or any ideas from the community and so.
Yeah, I love your Discord community. I'm part of it, and it's very very active organically, which is important and awesome at the
Yeah.
same time. And with marble cards, what is your vision?
So like the end vision is still what it was when we were trying to build like a new way to consume paid content. We want to build a platform where people gather because they want to share certain things, and within that platform, there are also paid for messages. It doesn't have to be ads, but it can still be influenced by someone who's paid for it. And so the end goal is the main vision end goal is to take on the big ad platforms or the big like marketing platforms, Facebook and Google primarily, with a decentralized alternative or like a peer-to-peer alternative where say someone wants to buy attention to their message, instead of paying a platform that then sort of brings eyeballs in whatever means they can, we will actually allow people within the community to drive those eyeballs instead. So instead of paying like a big corporate in the middle, the users gets paid instead. And I think that's a very powerful thing that blockchain enables for these platforms, is that you can have these very like microtransactions be distributed to people who actually do work for the network.
Yeah, so it seems like a unique idea that hasn't been done before. Why would anyone want to create or play on your platform though? Like, are they artists? Are they developer? Or they just really a collection? They just love the collectibles.
I think there are like a few different personas. One is definitely artists. We see now, actually, the recent couple of weeks, that artists have started to tokenize or to marble their own artwork and then give it out to their fans as sort of prizes and rewards. So that's really cool to see. Another persona is just people who like to collect stuff. Like you say, you collected baseball cards when you were little, like just revitalizing that feeling of collecting things you care about, which is also one of the main drivers of engagement we have right now. People marble cards of things they have fond memories of, or things that they're interested in, or things that they're passionate about. And I would say the third one is what I just talked about, is people who come to the platform in hopes of actually earning something back if they drive traffic to the network, or if they if they vote well on certain cards and they curate content well, then they will earn from the platform. And so I think that those are like the three main personas that we're going for at the moment.
And what is the determination on copyright ideas with using the metadata from the URL links on your card?
So we use something called the Open Graph metadata, It's something invented by Facebook, which then all of the other major internet players basically have signed up for. And it is content in the open graph is allowed to be displayed on other sites, basically. So that's what we, as long as you link to it. And so that's what we do. So it's the same image, thumbnail image you see when you share something on Facebook or on Twitter or similar.
The URL metadata, which gives the card, is image and text, or the marbling pattern, the soul, or the collectible?
Good question. I think it varies from card to card, but in general, I would say that the soul is the pattern. Like we would like to say that what you get when you marble something is a frame to the URL, and so what then the image is, like that's the bonus. But the frame is what you're going for. It should be a really cool URL that you frame about something you care about, or about a popular topic or a popular event or something.
Yeah, I think it's really something about framing something that you love, right? That makes it, it's that magic moment when, you see something that you care about and love framed nicely, almost as if it's priced. And since the CryptoKitties craze of late 2017, building on Ethereum is obviously the popular choice. With many collectibles and games building now, do you expect continued growth in your sector with so much competition?
Yes, of course. I think like a very cool thing, or like when it comes to Ethereum, like the main thing I'm interested in there is the NFT space, basically, because what I see happening now is you have all these different projects and they're sort of using the same canvas and building like a collaborative meta game. Like I wouldn't call it a game, but it's a meta game where all these assets and functionalities sort of tie in together. So like an example, you create a marble card. You can then instantly trade it on OpenSea, which is an NFT marketplace. You can display it in crypto voxels, which is like a 3D virtual world where you own a piece of land and you can then do whatever you want on it. Display Marble.Cards, for example. You see the artists, like they tokenize the art and then they can marble it and then they can put it up on all these different art galleries and marketplaces and so I think those are like the first baby steps we're seeing in this like very collaborative digital world basically that's being created at the moment. And so I think that's like the main Ethereum strength. Yes, DeFi is cool and so, but I think like
do you think that it would scale though? With like CryptoKitties.
Ethereum?
Yeah.
I think technology has a way of working itself out eventually. I think, like, I don't want to speculate on if Ethereum will scale with ETH2 or whatever. One way or another, it will scale because it has the momentum it has right now. So I think, it will work itself out. Scaling is like on a long enough time frame. Yeah, it will work out.
And I wanted to talk a little bit about your community on Discord and in relationship to the features that supplement your gameplay. So has the community helped in adding gaming features because you're so close with the community that it's basically complemented the product team?
So I had never used Discord before we started the Marble channel. And it's now, like having built a few companies, having something like that where you're so close to the people using your product, it's amazing. It's like so good. And what we are doing now is we're sort of bootstrapping ideas of new features. So the way we go about it is, for example, we had an idea of a mini game, like where people play cards. They get requirements and then they should match those requirements as good as they can, basically.
Awesome.
And so instead of like coding it in web just to test it, me and Matthias, who's my co-founder, we were the game. Like we did it manually. We let people try it out, and it didn't work. But there were some things that were interesting, and so we like kept building on that. And then we did another manual round of like gameplay. And then when we saw, okay, now we have something that maybe could be automated, we built a bot around it, and then we evolved that. And then when we felt, okay, now we have something that we think is good enough to start putting some heavy code into, we started developing it for the web, our platform.
Can you tell us a little bit about your in-game currency, Marble Coin, MBC?
It is like semi-launched, I would say. It's live on, we have a Discord bot, which is amazing again. So people can bet when they play games, and they can tip each other and so on. We also have a few like meta features where you can, if you have a gift card, but it's not level 50, which is required for a gift to move on the card, you can pay a Marble Coin and make it move. But the main thing for Marble Coin is you will be able to create cards with it. We're not quite there yet, but we're working on it.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I think like if you look at, some people say, okay, it adds complexity to have your own token. And yes, it does. But again, as a startup with very limited resources, I would say being able to create a currency that will have value, future value in your network, and to be able to give that out to early adopters and people who help promote it and so on, it's again very, very powerful. So yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the partnerships that you have with other NFT platforms without any breach of confidentiality. Can you discuss a little bit about your partnerships?
Sure. We have worked with a few different like crypto NFT projects. We did one thing with Sense, which is like almost like a blogging platform, but using some crypto incentives where you pay and get paid for consumption, basically. And so what we did there was we did a treasure hunt with an artist who creates something called pixel pets, like Pokemon-ish type of thing.
That's awesome.
And we hid them in their feed. And the person or the persons who were the first to marble those, they were, of course, the creators of those cards. And since those cards were very special, they sold for a very high price. I think like close to 1 ETH each, or between 0.5 and 1 ETH each. And as a creator, he or she got 30% of that. So yeah, that was a very cool thing. And yeah, we had a few other recently, just last week, I think we had something with another project called Block Cities, where we opened up their site for marbling, and the ones who marbled the best cards got a bunch of prizes. And I think that's one of our strengths compared to pretty much any other project in the NFT space, is we can, since we work the way we do, it's so flexible what we can do. We can collaborate with anyone, I would argue, and the output, the cards, will feel native to those communities because it will have like their artwork or their logos or their branding.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think that's very cool.
That's awesome. And can you tell us a little bit about your team? How large is your team? Do you have a mix of different people that are just really helping with the project? Sure.
We're 4 to 5 people working full time, depending a little bit how I count them. I was at 4.5 people working full time. So it's me and Matthias, and I am like me and Matthias, we do what's needed, like marketing, product vision, product specifications, all the finance stuff, like, bookkeeping, etc., all those boring stuff. And then we're a distributed team. We have two developers full-time in Prague and a few others working part-time from there as well. And then we have 2 designers here in Malmö as well, working when needed. Like, you don't need designers full-time, so we have them on a project basis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a very, very small team still.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds awesome though, because sometimes if you have too many people, it creates inefficiency. So if you have like 4 or 5 very productive people, I think it could lead and change your company.
I absolutely agree. Like having more people necessarily doesn't make you more effective.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And I know this question may sound a little bit silly, but what is the problem that you're trying to solve? I believe that you are solving a big problem.
Yes. It might not seem like it when you look at like the front page with the Doge. But like right now, we're just trying to build as an as engaging and fun platform to use as possible, using those cards, being able to play with them, have fun with them, collect them. But again, the end vision is we have one token tied to an internet URL. And so the vision is to build a meta layer of the internet, basically, an on-chain layer of the internet. And what I mean by that is if you have a token tied to a URL, potentially we could track if it goes through our system or it goes through our standard, which anyone can use because it's open, so it's open on Ethereum. We can see, okay, who drives traffic to this URL, who helped out sharing it in the beginning. Say you want to have attention to a podcast episode. What you can do now is you can post it on Facebook or Google or Twitter or so, and then you can boost it if you don't get enough attention.
Awesome.
But you can't really pinpoint, okay, who are the people who is doing the most work, who's giving me the best return, and what if you could contract them directly and reward them directly for the work they put in, and then they in return reward other people, because that's what becomes possible with having things on chain. You can do these very complex financial systems with microtransactions and so on. And so I just see that having a peer-to-peer attention marketplace basically is something that will happen. Is it us that will do it? I hope so. I have no idea, but it will happen, and it will compete extremely well with Facebook and Google in terms of market ad spend and attention driving.
Yeah.
And so that's the main vision for us and what we're going for in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, as consumers, I think we get bored really easily if there's something fun.
That's exactly it's right. So how can we succeed with that? Well, first we need to have something that's super sticky, that feels like fresh and new to people. And that's why I think that the cards are so perfect for blockchain, because in the end, the blockchain is meant to secure assets. And so if you have, say on Reddit, okay, what is the asset there? It's like a title and an image, doesn't feel like something tangible. But a card, on the other hand, a digital card, that's something that's very tangible and something I really want to secure. And so I think that's just a good fit for collectible cards, or a good fit for crypto, and combining that with the Web2 content platforms, content creation platforms. I think it could be something very exciting.
Yeah, and let's kind of walk me through how it works. So I would, in order for me to go to create a Marble card, I would basically need to install MetaMask.
Yeah, or any other crypto wallet.
Yeah, or any crypto wallet browser. And I just go onto the platform and make a Marble card. Can you kind of walk me through the steps to see how? I just wanted to know how hard or easy that is.
It's very easy. That's another strong selling point to have. So as long as you have MetaMask or Trust Wallet on mobile or similar, and you have some ETH in that wallet, what you then do is you think of a URL you want to marble. So again, say you want to marble the Doge on Know Your Meme. So then you just go to that page, you copy that URL, and you paste it under our button on Marble.Cards called Create New Card. And then you get a prompt to sign the transaction, pay a little bit of ETH, and then the card is created.
Awesome. And who is your competitor right now? And how is the Marble cards different from your competitors?
So the crypto collectible space is very, very small. So of course that's a negative for us. We definitely believe it is growing, and we believe it will be huge, but right now it's small. So all volumes are very, very small. But on the flip side, we don't really have any competitors because there are a handful of projects. So I wouldn't say we have any real competitors. Yes, you could argue that any other crypto collectible platform like CryptoKitties or Axie Infinity or so on, they're competitors, but not really. It's not like we act based on what they do. So I wouldn't say we have any competitors at the moment. Maybe you could argue that, say, something like, I don't know, I wouldn't say Hearthstone, but yeah, let's say Hearthstone, Blizzard's card game. That's a competitor, but not really. I wouldn't say we have any competitors at the moment. Our main challenge is to get people interested in the collectible space, the crypto collectible space as a whole. And then, yeah.
But is Crypto Kitty a competitor?
I would say no, actually. Like, they have a few hundred users. Yes, we could compete with them and try to snag some of those, but I think like the main thing for us is once we get a little bit more proof from our existing community in terms of engagement numbers, then we will try to go outside of the established crypto collectible space. And there I would say if it's us or CryptoKitties or anyone else who brings new people into this space, everybody wins, because then they're like apt to, they have the MetaMask and they have ETH and etc. So yeah.
What are your plans and thoughts on future development of your platform?
So the next phase for us is we are launching something called the Arena, which is basically the first time you will be able to do anything with your cards on the site. And what you will be able to do then is there will be things called leagues, and the league is basically a topic-based list. So it could be a league about memes, it could be a league about art, it could be a league about crypto, it could be a league about anything, and then people can submit their cards to those leagues. And if they perform well, they get a good score and earn Marble coin, basically. So that ties very well into like the big, or one of the big like pros crypto games has in relative to regular games, is that they can provide something called play to earn, which is where you convert your time playing to actual money or actual value.
Oh wow!
And so in our case, people will be voting on cards, and they will be submitting cards. And in doing that work, if they do that work well, they will earn. And so I think that's something we are very excited about, and I hope that the community will react well to.
That sounds awesome. I'm pretty excited about the NFT space. I'm hoping to collect a number of things.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, no, I have a bunch of washi tapes that I've been kind of connecting for journaling. Yeah. Of course, each one has their own design. I think it'll be awesome to really be able to play with digital things. I mean, because I just feel like the physical and the digital are so similar right now that I can have like a web page and a collection of cards with everything that makes me happy and feel joy when I wake up in the morning. That would be awesome.
100%. I think like the way it play out, you will have these like 3D spaces. It doesn't have to be VR, but it will be like these 3D spaces where you put up your best stuff and it becomes like your digital living room or something.
Yeah.
I have a few in CryptoVoxels, and it gives me great joy to play around with my Marble.Cards and with my other collectibles there and like build nice stuff.
Do you have any other areas of your project that I didn't ask about that you would like to chat a little about?
I don't know. Like in terms of traction, we've had over 40,000 cards created so far. So way above our expectations from when we launched. But in terms of like normal web apps, still again very small. But we're super excited about the journey so far. I think again what will be exciting to see is if we manage to pull off this connection between content curation platforms and sort of translate that into something with crypto incentives.
Yeah.
I think then we'll be able to, work with anyone to help distribute their content. Like one idea we have is allowing people, say you want to get interesting topics for your podcast, then you could incentivize a league, say the podcast league or the cool topic league or whatever you want to call it. You could put in a little bit of price, an NFT or some crypto coins or whatever, and people could submit their cards and it would just take care of itself because you have the incentives in place. And then you could look at the list that is curated and then see, okay, is there anything interesting for me here to pick from?
Because like my baseball cards and football cards have value based on the length of time I keep them and the condition. Marble card is a digital card. How do we determine like value? Do you think that one day it would have a higher value?
I think like the time you keep them or the time from creation definitely plays into the value. Obviously the condition, and it's all the same for all the cards, so that doesn't really matter. But what gives a marble card value right now is the attributes it has. So, for example, the first 1,000 cards are called origin cards, and
Mm-hmm.
those are more valuable than normal cards. We
Okay.
also have another attribute called gold. Those the same. They're also more valuable than quote unquote normal cards. And then again, okay, what is the URL to the Apple.com website? It's of course more valuable than an image on DeviantArt or like an ad on Ads of the World. So yeah, there are a bunch of different things that drive value in a Marble card,
Oh,
and it's up to the community to decide what those things are, which
yeah.
we see. All, and it's very cool.
No, I'm just thinking about, for some reason, just the perception of the community and their power to drive value. And for some reason, I was thinking
Yeah,
about vintage cards, like things, cards are a long time ago. One day, marble cards will become, there will be some that are vintage, right? And then, of course, you can
yeah,
always make vintage cards, but after like a certain year, could have some kind of reward because you've been having it for a long time. But I'm also thinking about taste and the taste of the community in terms of style because we as humans have different tastes, and I don't think one is right over the other. I think it just makes us different and unique, right?
yeah, and that's extra prominent in marble cards. Like if you look at a normal collectible game,
Mm-hmm.
you have the company putting it out that sort of makes the artwork and they make the characters or they make like whatever the thing is about. But in our case, it's the internet. Like the internet decides what a card can be about, and obviously people can create cards about anything. And what we see then is people are a lot more like they value their own cards a lot more than anyone else's cards. It's it's something we think is the IKEA effect,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically that value something you put together yourself more than something you bought finished from the store. And that we see like in Discord, okay, someone wants, okay, what's the value of this? And then there's, or what do you want to sell this for? And then I give this crazy price. I want to sell it for this because I'm so attached to it. And so it's very difficult to find certain kinds of marble cards just for that reason, because people are so attached to them.
I wanted to ask you about game theory and game economics
Mm,
because essentially this is a game, even though it doesn't seem
mm.
like a game. It is a game. So, what are some game theory that you guys are using in marble cards, and how does the game economics work?
So again, what we are looking at is maybe less like obviously now we've tried to build some basic card games and sort of look at what is the established card game ecosystem. But again, the main thing we're going for is this content curation aspect, and so then it's more important for us to look at something like Reddit or Twitter and see what kind of mechanics do they use to curate information the best, and then try to apply crypto incentives on top of that. So what do you need to do to do certain actions to then eventually get rewarded for it? And so yeah, Reddit is a big inspiration source for us with their subreddits, which is basically what our leagues will be in the arena.
What is one advice that you would like to provide to the community?
So our community,
Yeah, just the community, the larger community beyond marble cards.
okay, so if you're outside of crypto, I would say, read the big white paper, just start reading up about Bitcoin initially, because it's the most important technology that's come around since the internet. I would say after that, start reading up about NFTs and just get blown away by what we'll be able to do with digital items, basically, because that's what they are. Like you have in crypto, you have the currencies. That's one thing. But if you look at real life, yes, we have currencies, but maybe we're more attached to everything else other than currency in the analog world. And so I think that it will be the same in the digital world. You'll have the currencies like Bitcoin and whatever else, but then you will have all these digital item stuff that is just more fun to engage with that you want to have in your life.
Yeah, I love digital
Yeah,
stickers.
and digital things. It could be say digital clothes. again, collectibles, obviously, digital spaces, like you will have your living room or your house or whatever, trophies, weapons, like it will be all kinds of different things that you normally see in games, but also see in the real world. It will be this weird mix.
Yeah.
And so what I like to think about is just how and what, like, memes, basically, because that's what they are, will will sort of get traction, because it won't be, yes, now we have the collectibles, but eventually we will start to see even more weird things. Like Bitcoin is gold, but will we have like something that is rock, or will we have something that is, I don't know, you know, food or whatever? It will just be super interesting to see what rules will be applied to the digital existence,
And
which is enabled by.
yeah, I think there's a blurring of the physical and digital, and then with AR, VR, and also digital goods, I think it will be really awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
If people wanted to learn more about Marble.Card, where do they go?
Discord, 100%. There's nothing else.
Okay, so
Obviously, they can follow us on Twitter as well. But if you want to get the Marble experience, then you got to join Discord.
what is
And we link to it.
what is a Discord channel?
We link to it on our Twitter, and our Twitter is Marble.Cards, at Marble.Cards.
Awesome. I'm just looking it up. I just want to make sure that I'm pretty sure I'm in it. All right. Confirming.
Our Discord, you have to be in it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know. I'm in it like a long while ago. I had to.
Yeah. And for new users, we give out free Marble coins, so don't miss on that opportunity.
You guys have competition too, and those are a lot of fun. I actually intended to participate in some of your design competition, but I haven't yet. I think there were a few times
Yeah.
where I actually put that in the Marble.Cards, CARDS, on
Yeah.
Discord, and I haven't yet. But there's a few times where I actually put in my calendar to participate. But I've just been moving around, so that I
Yeah.
haven't, but I intended to,
So
and I was
having
so
it in
jealous.
the calendar, that's right? So
Yeah.
you will get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. I've just been really jealous of all the winners.
Yeah, they get the sweet old origin cards and marble coin and so on. So
Johan, thank you for joining us and chatting about Marble.Cards and owning digital things, not just currency.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.